You're watching Drake Wing Gaming. Enjoy the video.
Hey guys and gals, Never here from Drake Wing Gaming. It's 70 Mounts with the Gaming Drag. Today I'm coming back at you with the Let's Play episode of Violet Memoir, Leigh's Path. We're running the latest update, y'all, so we've got lots more content to get through. Anyway, alarm chain, you were up, and let's go. Alright. This is what it's going to be like from now on, isn't it? Only if it doesn't bother you too much. We might as well get used to it. Charlie's going to be a lot worse when Oscar hears about it. It'll be hell. And I know hell. When, huh? You've decided to tell him? Why hide it? Charlie would tell him anyway. She can't keep a secret to save her life. Well, I can safely say she's a blast to be around, so I say she's forgiven. She snickers softly under her breath, but there's no ill intent in anything she's doing, and both of us know it. It's hard to not smile along, too, especially with things as good as they are. Well, I think it's time we all split off, right? That's probably for the best. I don't think I want your dad coming after us. You can say that again. Am I missing something? My dad's a little protective ever since, well, you know. Oh, right. It's not too bad. It's just a little smothering. It reminds me of someone I know. Leigh just gives a huff and ignores her, pretending to be distracted by a very interesting pile of leaves on the ground. Well, I'll get you two in class tomorrow. You two going to be staying the night together again? Should we be? Do you want to? You're in college. There's no adults to tell you no. We'll talk about it. We will? Well, I'll have to leave the two of you to discuss your, plans. I'll catch you boys later. She mouths the words, call me later, while she makes a very obvious phone sign with her hand that Leigh couldn't miss. But she just skips away, chuckling like an evil mastermind the whole time. I didn't think it would be this bad. It probably wouldn't be if it was anyone else. What do you mean? If you ended up with Oscar and Lucas, I don't think she'd be acting this way. Everyone else thinks we're not the types to do this kind of thing. Wait, what kind of thing? Date? That's something exciting. Oh. Don't worry, they'll get bored of it soon enough. Now come on, let's head back to your place. Leigh doesn't wait for my words and trots off in the opposite direction of his apartment, right towards the campus and, more important, my apartment. Wait, what are you doing? Weren't you gonna patch things up with Charlie? She'll want some space, and if I'm being honest, I think I do too. Is everything okay? If I'm being honest, I'm a little exhausted. Last night was amazing and I've missed it. I just want one day away from it all. I'm sorry, if I knew you were feeling like this, I would have called off the whole meetup with everyone. Wallace, I'm doing fine. If anything, I should be checking in on you. You had another nightmare last night. It wasn't too bad. Wait, is that why you're coming over tonight? It's part of it. There's a lot of things going on right now. Yeah, that makes sense. As if to try and dissuade any doubts that are slowly building up in my head, Leigh slings an arm around my neck. It's not a side hug or something to reassure me. It's something a little more intimate. Oh! Too much? No, it's good. I just wasn't expecting it, that's all. Your fur is really soft. Have I ever told you that? Maybe? I can't remember. When I couldn't keep my hands off you yesterday, I realized how amazing your fur feels. As if to emphasize his point, he leans down and presses his nose against the top of my head, burying it into my head fur. It might be getting pretty late into the evening, but there were still people walking the street, but no one paid us any attention. Everwinter has always been a pretty progressive place, and to everyone else, we must look like boyfriends. Boyfriends. Careful, you're gonna overheat again. I'm not an old car. Don't be afraid to be called that. Old cars can be amazing and beautiful. I always like handling them the best. Oh. I didn't mean it like that. Not yet, anyway. When will that happen? I've never really done it. When it happens. I won't push it off, but if the moment feels right, we'll try something. Is the moment right tonight? Probably not. There's a lot going on. Sorry, did I ruin the mood? It's for the best. It's hard to walk like that, and we'll need to get back before it gets too cold. I've lived here my whole life. Everwinter's never that cold. Which is ironic, because it's called Everwinter. Doesn't mean I want to take any chances. Come on. With his hand still around my neck, though it's a lot more casual than it was before, he pushes us forward until we're walking at a proper pace. Thanks, Leigh. For everything. You're thanking me? Shit, Wallace, I should be thanking you. I don't think I did anything yet. Don't worry about it then. Just remember, you don't owe me anything. You've more than made up for it. Now let's get you some food and rest. God knows we could all use it. That's exactly what we did. It was a quiet night where Leigh mostly prodded me about my interests. I did try to convince him to let me read the diary a little, but he was staunch about it, especially after our deal on Friday. I couldn't complain. Not a single bit. I'm sitting in an uncomfortable sofa in the middle of the living room I swear I've never been in before. Despite this, it feels oddly familiar, but my mind is too foggy to realize just where I've seen this before. I don't know why, but I feel more sluggish than normal. There's a little voice in the back of my head telling me to be alert, but I struggle to rationalize why. After all, this living room feels very cozy and lived in. I just wish I knew how I got here. Everything's such a blur. What have I been doing before I came here? I was out at the park with everyone, and then we went to the orphanage again. What happened after that? Did we go visit someone else? Maybe this is Lily's house. But none of those answers feel right, and I shake my head, trying to clear the fog that's making it so hard to think. That voice in the back of my head suddenly doesn't seem so crazy. I manage to focus enough to really get a look around me, and I figure out exactly why this place seems so familiar, but that only puts me further on edge. It's from my dream. The moment the words leave my lips, I cover my mouth with my hands in an attempt to not alert anyone in this house. After all, if this isn't a dream this time, I don't want to know why I'm here. I try to recall what happened in the dream last time. All of a sudden, it's a lot harder to remember. The only thing I seem to be able to recall is how I felt at the time. I was helpless and I couldn't control my body. It was like I was moving on autopilot. I remember feeling strange, like the emotions I had weren't my own. And then there was panic and nothing. What happened that made me feel so scared? Even recalling it now, I wasn't just scared or a little unnerved. I was terrified. I don't think I've ever been so scared in my life. Damn it, why can't I remember? I look around the room, trying to see if there's anything strange or any signs of inhabitants. But other than the signs of wear that comes from years of use, there aren't anything that implies anyone lives here. If anything, it's eerily silent. I almost want to turn something on just to have some ambient sound, but I'm not that stupid. Maybe I'm lucky and no one's home. Taking a step forward feels like I'm making the toughest journey of my life, but the soft carpet muffles any sound I would have made. I've never been more glad that a place doesn't have wooden floors. But having this level of agency feels strange. My memories of the dream might be hazy, but I remember my inability to control myself very clearly. Why can't I move normally this time? Does that mean this isn't a dream, or does this mean it's like the others? Like the hospital or whatever happened in class before? It's hard to tell the difference with them then as well. I look around for any clues that might hint as to where I am, reality or otherwise, but all I can find are a bunch of nondescript furniture. There's a worn-down sofa that's covered in many things from strands of gray fur to stains covering the whole thing. Whoever used this had little care what condition it ended up in. But other than that, the only thing I can focus on are the photos, or the lack of photos. They seem like photos, but when I take a closer look, I can make out tiny detail. I can't make out any details. It's just like my dream. I remember they were murky and hard to decipher, too, so does that mean I'm in a dream? I pinch myself, but all I feel is a sharp spike of pain, which only makes the pit of my stomach sink further. I really hope this is just a really detailed dream that can imitate pain. A little glimpse of hope floods in as I look behind me and notice something I didn't see before. The front door! Finally an escape! Not wanting to mess around any further, I move towards it only to notice something very major missing. There doesn't seem to be any doorknob for me to grab. It isn't just missing, it's like it never existed in the first place, and any attempt I have to push or dig my fingers in to pull it open only proves futile. There doesn't seem to be a way for me to get out of here, not without breaking the whole door down, and I don't think I could do that. I wish Leigh or Oscar was here. Maybe this is like the hospital and they're just somewhere else. But if it's just a dream, then does escaping out of the front door really matter? For all I know, it might just lead nowhere. This is all very confusing. I decide it isn't worth it to just keep messing around with the door and opt to investigate the rest of the room. I come across some stairs, but the thought of walking up them only fills me with a lingering sense of dread. Whatever's up there, I'm certain it was what caused my spike of fear last time, and if it's that bad, then I don't want to know. I'm about to continue searching until something catches my eye. A door down the hallway just a bit away from the bottom of the stairs. Memories of this little section quickly resurface. That's where I woke up last time. Why didn't I wake up there again? But I don't remember seeing a door there. Did I miss it, or am I just forgetting that detail as well? It's slightly open, and I can make out what looks like a dresser, so I can only assume this is someone's bedroom. Before my better judgment can tell me not to, I'm already pushing my way through the door, drawn to it by what I can only describe as curiosity that there's something else to it as well. The moment I step through the door, I can feel a heavy weight piling onto my chest. Every warning alarm in my head is blaring that I shouldn't be here, that I need to get out immediately. And I'm about to heed it when something catches my eye. I'm turning to leave. It catches my eye while I'm turning to leave. Sitting on the bedside table on the opposite side of the room is a piece of paper that looks out of place, and very familiar. As I make my way over to the other side of the room, I nearly trip on the piles of clothes on the floor. They're scattered everywhere, alongside anything from beer cans to what looks to be old cartons of food. Whoever lives here clearly doesn't take much care of his living space or what other people would think. However, they're not the worst of it. What truly adds a sense of urgency to my discomfort is the ripped wallpaper scattered about and the claw marks covering every inch of this room. I hadn't seen them at first, but the more I sit here, the more it doesn't look like a slob lived here, but more like something had gone on a rampage through here, tearing apart everything in the process. It almost looks like there have been things ripped off the walls, but I can't see anything that would match that description, and a little peek behind the dresser doesn't show anything hiding behind it. Whatever had been placed here is completely gone, all except for the fierce destruction left behind. It only serves to make me want to get out of here as soon as I can. I'll just look at whatever's on the desk and move on before this aura gives me a headache. Looking at the desk, I can see that my suspicions are immediately confirmed. That's definitely Helena's handwriting. There's a part of me that wants to just ignore it and get out, but I know that I'd never be able to walk away. What if it had something that might help me? That might help ease Miss Corrin's heart. Maybe it'll answer all the questions I have about Helena too. Why am I like this? If this triggers a trap, I'm going to be very annoyed, and probably dead too. With a sigh, I pick up the page and wait for something to happen, but after a few seconds of nothing, I conclude that I'm just being paranoid. What could even happen? This is probably a dream and I just wake up. Unless this isn't a dream and I've been kidnapped by a serial killer. I actively choose to not believe that's an option. Shaking those thoughts off, I start to read the page, and I can immediately tell this is a different tone from the rest of her entries. They're normally pretty happy and reassuring to her mother, but this... I just don't get it. Why is she acting like that? Why won't she return my calls or message or anything? I just don't get it. Her handwriting is definitely hers, but if I hadn't read it so recently, I might not have recognized it. There's barely any similarities. It's so rough, messy, and the ink is constantly smeared across the page. I can't tell if it's because of all the dried stains covering the page or if she was just so frantic that she smudged it. That's not even mentioning all the scribbled out lines. This is barely readable as it is. Every second line is covered in mass scribbles that makes it incomprehensible. She must have been seriously upset, though it might be more accurate to say she was in complete hysterics. It's a stark contrast to what I've been reading before. What happened? I thought it would be just one little thing and we could talk about it, but she's been avoiding me for days, Mom. Fucking days! We never went this long without talking. It's all over nothing. Alright, y'all, I'm actually going to pause it right there. Thank y'all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon if you can. It always helps. Anyway, I love you all, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye!